Hi guys, Redneck Wannabe here. I hope all is well with you and your family today. So today I'm just going to go back and show you, a couple months ago I guess it was, I made a rabbit hutch, and so here's the hutch. And so I thought I'd just go through what I would do differently if I were to build another rabbit hutch. So I guess a week or two ago, Jay Null had put out a video about his rabbit hutch. And, in a perfect world, the kind that he built, that's what I would have. But he has a barn, I don't. This is on the side of my house. So, number one, I built it with 2x4s. And so they're real sturdy. And so what I did was I put the 2x4s on some old pieces of concrete blocks just to keep that up from the dirt, so dirt and water and all that wouldn't rot these things out. And then what I've done is I've put this tarp over the rabbit hutch just to keep the rain and stuff like that off the rabbits. During the summer, I'll probably just take this thing off because I want as much airflow through there as possible just to keep the rabbits cool. But looking back on it, there's two things. Well, here, I'll go ahead and show you. So, I built it out of wood, and so you can see here all the poo and the pee and stuff like that are, it's seeping down from the poo trays. And I don't know how long this wood will last, but I think in a perfect world I would want this to be metal. But number one, that would get pretty expensive, and heavy. But we're not in a perfect world, so you just need to make, I just need to make do with what I have. So I think whenever the time does come when this stuff rots out, I think it'll be fairly easy to redo it, but we'll see. So the other thing, now this is easy. I mean, this is for sure one thing that I would do differently is, I don't know, the ridges are pointed up. So it's not that I think it's uncomfortable for the rabbits, because the rabbits are on here all the time, and these bars don't seem to bother their feet. But what this does is whenever I slide the poo tray in and out, it gets caught right there, and so then I have to kind of wiggle my hand in there and lift it up and stuff like that. So I would make this down the other way so there's no ridges here. Let's see what else. Oh, here on the feeding tray, well, here, let's go here first. So what I did, I had put these, I think they're called hook and eyes, and I put the hook and eyes here. But what happens is you can see where the rabbits have chewed this plastic coating off. So I don't know, as they're chewing this and they're moving it back and forth, this hook and eye will work itself up. I don't know. So, but what had happened one day was I didn't have this little redneck, we'll just call it a closer here. So, but what had happened one day is this had worked its way up, and the rabbit that was in this area had basically just pushed itself out and it fell. And so that's 5-foot drop. And a couple days later, the rabbit died. So I assume it died of internal injury. So what we did was, we just rednecked these little twist ties to put it right around there, and so it keeps it, from moving. So, so that is one thing. I need to figure out a different way to do this, but it's not necessarily a priority for me just because I've got these. But one thing I did do is, looking back on it, I'm like, man, that was a stupid way to do that. I should have done it differently. But here's the feeder, and I cut the wires here to just to put this thing in here. And outside I can lift up the tray and feed it. Looking back on it, I think I probably would have just put this whole thing right here, and then just had to open up the cage to fill it. But it works either way. This way's fine, that way's fine. I wouldn't have had to cut this, but you just make do. And their little hidey hole here, I had a leftover fence panel, and I thought, I'm just going to use that for the hidey hole. So I'm trying to tie this with one hand, so bear with me. But with this hidey hole, like I said, I had some leftover panel, and I thought, well, I'm just going to use this leftover panel and just make it work. And so you can see I've made it work, but it's not pretty. So my wife looked at it, she's like, really, hon? But you just make it work. So it works. It's not pretty. I don't think the rabbits care. The rabbits are fine with it. So anyway, that's the rabbit hutch. Down here, now I guess stepping back, I've got about 3.5 foot on each side. So preferably I'd like more room for the rabbits. But again, this works. They seem to be happy, healthy, and so we're just going to leave it as it is. So I've got 2 and 2, and then this that was the grow out pen, or that's going to be the grow out pen. So what we were using it with all the straws in there for, you remember a few weeks ago I had that chicken with a broken foot or whatever, so we put her in here for a while, and so this was all the straw, and I just haven't cleaned it out yet. We put her back in with the rest of the chickens, and she's doing fine. So, but this is the rabbit setup. So it works, seems to work really, really good. The rabbits seem to be happy, healthy. So anyway, I hope this helps, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Bye.